I'm Jyoti Chand, also known as Mama Jotes, and I live in Lamont, Illinois. I am an influencer, content creator, writer, and a full-time stay-at-home mom. I've been celebrating Diwali for, how old am I? 33 years. So I felt like it was up to me with my kids to make sure this Indian part of them stays alive, like this culture that actually has these gorgeous outfits and all these colors and history stays alive with them, and they get to understand that look, you're American, you're born here, but you're Indian. And Diwali is one of those days where we can really show them. They get so excited for Diwali, and when I see their eyes light up, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it right. Diwali is just so special because it was the time that all of our family came together. We got to dress up, we got presents, we got good food, and it was just, to us, it felt like Christmas. That's the best way we described it to all of our friends, was oh, it's like our Indian Christmas. There's just so much joy around the holiday and so much love, and it's all about new beginnings and family. So Diwali is actually the festival of lights. We wake up in the morning, and this is actually the first year they're gonna get to do this. So they're gonna run through the house and turn on all the lights. That's actually something I did growing up. My dad would have us run through the house and turn on the lights, every single light switch in the house, and it's just so much fun. After we turn on all the lights, we go and light our diyas. It's a little candle. Usually we light a diya in front of our deities when we pray. My mom was the one who kept all our traditions alive. And even though back then I would give her such a hard time about all these holidays she made us celebrate and be like, I wanna hang out with my friends. And she would be so persistent and push us to celebrate these holidays and tell us why we're celebrating them. And I didn't really appreciate it until I became a mom myself and want to harbor our culture and traditions for my kids. And now I truly feel connected to her because I'm like, okay, Mom, I get it. I see what you were trying to do here. So food is a really big, important part of Diwali. We love to eat. It's the one day of the year that we are fully vegetarian. It's what we did growing up, and I really want us to just respect that part of the tradition. You ready to cut that? I actually really like allowing my kids to be a part of cooking. I think it's just so important for them to just be involved. And do I expect them to be 12 or 13 and be like, I don't want to make clay diyas with you, and I don't want, yeah, I do. I know that they're gonna go through the same phases that I did, and hopefully I can adjust Diwali to still make it enjoyable for them. And it's not the same way my mom was able to let me experience it, but I'm trying to take whatever I can and pass it along. Oh wait, we forgot about sweets. Sweets are really important because that's the prasad of Diwali. It's also how we celebrate with our neighbors and cousins and family and friends. We deliver sweets to people. After we finish cooking, we go and get ready into our outfits. I personally love getting dressed up in Indian clothes, and I know that's something it's very rare for my kids to get to do nowadays, so they love it so much. When they get to wear Indian clothes, they feel Indian. I wore so many lehengas growing up, and I know Karina likes to strut around in her lehenga, and she says she feels like an Indian princess every time she puts one on. And that's exactly how I feel when I put on a sari or I put on my bindi. They may not even know what that means to them quite yet, but hearing them say that just means so much to me, to watch them connect with their culture through clothing, just the way that I connect with my culture through clothing till today. So we go, we get ready, and we take some family photos because Mama needs to remember her Diwali. Then we pray. I don't have every prayer memorized. We stick to Lakshmi Aarti and Ganesh Puja. It's a beautiful prayer. Actually, should I sing it? Do you want me to sing it? Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Switch careers, boom. American Idol, here I come. It's hard. Yeah, I know. I feel like I have imposter syndrome when it comes to being Indian sometimes, I don't know if I'm I'm Indian in the right way. Being a first generation American, it can get confusing because you're American, but you're also very Indian. When you're at home, you're super Indian. You're, eating Indian food and, speaking in Hindi and Punjabi, and then you go to school and all of a sudden you're American, eating a Lunchable or envying your friend's Lunchable because you went to school with Indian food. And I think that Diwali holiday just reminds you of okay, this is where I come from. This is a big part of me, and this is my, my family's heritage. So That's why I always feel so connected to Diwali and wanting to make it as meaningful for my kids so that they can still, as second generation Americans, so now even more further removed from their culture, they can still have that like tidbit of, okay, this is where I come from, this is where my mom and her mom and her mom and all of us come from. So after we pray, we finally get to eat the delicious meal that we put together, and that's when we can all finally like talk and rejoice, and you can imagine how that is with 2 toddlers. It can be really fun. We actually feed our kids with our hands. It's just such a big part of being Indian. The kids prefer it, they'd eat better, and it reminds me of how I ate growing up. My mom used to feed me the same way, my dad, my grandma. My mother-in-law actually feeds my kids the same way too. So that's kind of cool, it cross cultures. So after we're done eating, we finally get to open the presents. It becomes a big part of the day of like, oh my gosh, yay. And it's, the whole day has passed and they know these presents are coming. So they're like waiting and they see them there. So it's a great way to end the day with all these family members that have sent you presents and love and their wishes and kind of ended on that happy high note. It makes me feel amazing to see my kids' eyes light up when they celebrate Diwali. It's like they truly understood what I was trying to give them, because in all honesty, I'm celebrating it for them. I want them to fully feel immersed in our culture and celebrate it the way that I did growing up, so that when they grow up, there's a chance that they'll be like, oh, our mom used to celebrate Diwali with us, and maybe they'll celebrate it with their future children. I'm so happy that I got to share our Diwali celebration with you. Thank you so much for watching and seeing just how we pass on traditions to our kids. Thank you, Target, for letting us share our story. Make sure to check out all the other episodes in this series, and don't forget to subscribe to Target's YouTube channel.